So now that you've seen how we can configure AppLocker in Windows to stop the QuickTime process from running, what we're going to do now is show you a SolarWinds Patch Manager. And what this is going to allow us to do is to uninstall QuickTime. So not just stop the process like we could do with AppLocker, but it's going to allow us to actually uninstall QuickTime in the environment. And we can do that from one centrally managed application. So you can see on our screen here, we have Windows Server 2012 R2. We've already gone ahead and gone to SolarWinds website. You can click on the URL here on the screen on the little hot link, or you can see the URL in the description. So once we go to the website, we fill out a form, and we'll be able to download the zip file, which is what we did here. We've already extracted that file. So we'll go ahead and start up the application. You're going to have to make sure that you meet the prerequisites. If you open up the SolarWinds Patch Manager Administration Guide, you can check the Administrator Guide to see exactly what you need, not only as far as software, but hardware as well. So we'll run the application. We'll let that run. All right, we'll go ahead and click yes now that those steps are complete. So it's been doing a few checks, and now we have a pop-up box here for the installation type that we want to perform. And we're going to just stick with the defaults to install the Patch Manager server components, as well as install the Patch Manager administration console. So we'll go ahead and click next. And we'll basically run through a normal installation of a next finish type of install. So you might be wondering, why do I have to do these steps? Well, if you have users with Apple mobile devices and they have admin rights on the workstations, you most likely have QuickTime installed in your environment. And this is what Rainey and I really like about SolarWinds Patch Manager, is that it's already using what you have in your environment. It's using WMI to query the machines for your Microsoft and your third-party patches, and then it's using WSUS to go out and push those updates or patches to those machines. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting all of your third-party and Microsoft patches updated, but you don't have to put an agent on any of these machines. It's already using WMI and WSUS that's baked in to the operating system. So again, if you want to use Patch Manager for getting rid of QuickTime or updating other patches, you can do so for 30 days free, no charge, but please use the URL you see here in the video or down below in the description. This is going to help fund our research and the real training that we provide for free each week. So we'll hit finish. And we'll select both of these options and hit continue. So you're going to come to this wizard when you first start the application. So let's go ahead and cancel this. And up here on the left, you have Enterprise, Administration and Reporting, and Patch Manager System Configuration. So we want to select Patch Manager System Configuration, and then this first one at the top, Configure Manage Resources in your enterprise. What we're going to do here is tell it to look for computers in our domain. So you can see that we have our lab.local domain selected. If yours doesn't come up, you can browse for it, or you can select Add. But ours is there. We'll check it, and we'll hit Next. We'll go ahead and hit Next. It's going to tell us that we don't have any SCCM site servers to add. Do we want to continue? Yes, we're not using that for this demo. And same thing here. We're not going to add the WSUS server. So we'll hit Next. Do we want to continue? Yes. We'll leave the defaults and we'll hit Finish. So now that that is done, we can go up to Enterprise. And if we go over to Manage Computers, we'll let this do a quick search. It may pull up the computer we're on now, or it may not pull up any computers at all. So you see we have one computer, but this is just the computer that we're installed on right now. So let's look at our inventory. Down here on the right, there's an inventory selection. We'll select that. We'll hit OK. We want to select computers using rules. And we want to create a new rule. We'll just name this rule Test. We want to do all computers in the selected domain. So we will browse to that domain. We'll click on Active Directory. We'll select our domain. We will add it by selecting Add Selected, and then we'll click OK. We want to include workstations, servers. We're not going to include domain controllers for this demo. and then we'll hit OK. Do we want to save the current settings? Yes. We'll hit Next, and we're going to run this task now, so we'll go ahead and hit Finish. So let's go ahead and refresh our managed computers. So now that we hit refresh, we'll wait to see all the servers that come up. So here's a list of servers and workstations in our lab.local test domain. Now, this is a small environment. There's only 21 servers, but we also want to find out how many of these servers have QuickTime installed. So thankfully, SolarWinds has at their THWAC website, THWAC is their community information website, they've already pre-written a report that'll do that for us. So you can see the link here in the top bar in the URL bar, or we will also copy that link in the description. So let's download this report. We'll save it. Now we want to copy that report over to our VM, which we have. We've copied it here to our downloads folder. And then we're going to go ahead and import that report into Patch Manager. That's under Administration and Reporting, Configuration Management Reports, and the installed programs and features. We'll go ahead and import that report to this location. We'll let it import and click OK. So let's go ahead and run the report. We'll come up with a list of servers with QuickTime installed. You may have many in your environment. Since this is a small demo environment, we only have one. If you have a lot of servers, you might want to export this list so you can refer back to it later. I only have one, lab-demo 27, so I'll close that report. Go back to our managed computers, find that server in the list, lab-demo 27. We will open up that server to open up Computer Explorer. We'll go to installed software. We'll let that list populate, and you will see that we have QuickTime installed, as well as the other components that come with QuickTime when you install it, Apple mobile device, Apple application. Now let's go to that server and verify that it is installed. You'll see that we're on lab Dropbox 28. We want to go to lab demo 27. So let's remote into that server. So we have that connection open. Here is that server, and let's go ahead and make sure that QuickTime is actually installed on it. So if we go to Programs and Features and Control Panel, we'll see the same thing, Apple Application Support and QuickTime installed. So let's minimize that server, and we'll come back to our lab Dropbox 28 server that has Patch Manager installed. So let's go ahead and uninstall those 4 pieces of software we do not want on it, QuickTime and the other 3 Apple pieces. Actually, there's 4. Here's Apple Software Update, Bonjour, iTunes is also installed. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of these Apple applications. And we're going to go ahead and uninstall it. We'll hit finish so that job will run. We'll give that just a few seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and hit refresh. And as you can see, QuickTime is no longer there. The other Apple components are no longer there. There's still one listed, but let's see if it's still actually on that machine, if any of these actually are. So we'll go back to our lab demo 27 server. All right, here we are on that server. You can see everything's still listed since this was the old session. Now let's go ahead and refresh. And as you can see, QuickTime is gone and the Apple applications are gone. So let's go back to our server with Patch Manager installed. And here back in Patch Manager, you can refresh and we'll see that everything is gone. So we can close that. And you can see how fast that was. That was a network machine. We had a remote into that machine. It wasn't the local server, but you can see how fast SolarWinds Patch Manager uninstalled those applications from that server, multiple applications at one time. Now you may be wondering, do I have to remove QuickTime manually from all these machines that showed up in that earlier report? Well, if you are already using SolarWinds Patch Manager, then the answer is no. You can go in here through a different report and remove all the machines that have QuickTime installed. But if you're like we are, we were manually installing QuickTime, then you have to do it manually. But there is one small workaround. What you could do is you could use that report that we looked at earlier to find all the machines in your environment that already have QuickTime installed. You could then push updates or reinstall QuickTime on those machines using SolarWinds, And then you could turn around and uninstall QuickTime from all of those machines. So basically what you've done is use SolarWinds Patch Manager to install QuickTime, which then means you can go back and uninstall QuickTime from all of those machines. So we hope you enjoyed these two videos. The first one that Randy was doing about installing AppLocker to stop the QuickTime process, and then also this video using SolarWinds Patch Manager to remove QuickTime in the other Apple applications. So we encourage you to download SolarWinds. You can get a free 30-day trial if you download their Patch Manager. We also encourage you to use our links, the links you see here in the video and also in the description. That'll give us credit and continue to allow us to continue to provide this free training and this useful information. And then also in the description, you'll see a link to our blog. There you can get more info about various vulnerabilities and then also more information on this quick fix using SolarWinds Patch Manager to remove QuickTime.